Hello, broadcast community. It is MJ Callaway here with another Bounce Up broadcast. And I am so happy to have my co host, my fabulous co host, who is
Jim Kunkle. Happy Thursday, MJ.
Happy Thursday, Jim. It feels like from last Thursday to this Thursday, it feels like it was 2 weeks rather than a week. And I think it's because we have had some major snow in our area.
Yeah, we got lucky this week. Too bad it didn't come a couple weeks earlier for the Christmas season.
Which would have been nice. Always nice to have snow at Christmas. So, Bounce Up community, we are talking transformation today. So, is it a reinvention? Is it a transformation? Do they both mean the same thing? And how has Jim transformed and how have I? So that's our topic today because it is so perfect for January. And January, everybody wants to make changes. So that's why we're talking about transformation today. So, Jim, I know transformation was your word of the year in 2020. And then you also sort of segued that into 2021. So, can you share what initiated that transformation?
Well, the thing with it, it goes back to just prior to this conversation we're having right now, where you talked about reinvention and transformation. That's kind of what it was 2020 into 2021 for me. And as most everyone knows, watching the different broadcasts I've been on, this year, my word is engagement. So
Mhm.
when 2020 hit, we went in, we knew in 2019 there was something looming that was potentially going to lock down and to change how we did business and really kind of shake up our daily lives. And that was called the global pandemic. So at that point, I was the type of person professionally, and I'm a very social person. So I was always on the move, and on the move being not virtually, but physically on the move,
Mhm.
traveling, flying, driving, visiting people, meeting people, participating in events, going to social activities. And all of a sudden now in 2020, we couldn't do that. We were, for the most part, restricted for what we could do and couldn't do to combat the global pandemic. So for me, I had to quickly go through a process of saying, what I'm doing physically, I have to figure a way to do it virtually. And so that's what really was the drive and really what set the word. The good thing, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but the good thing about knowing going out of 2019 into 2020, I was able to pick that word prior to 2020 because we all knew potentially what was coming, and I saw that too. So
Definitely, because we heard from Europe, there was so much going on in Europe
in
that
Asia, yeah.
yes, it did give us a preview of what was to come. So, now what do you think before I go into my what my transformation was, what do you think helped you succeed at that transformation?
So for me, I'm always about the other person's experience. So if I do a physical meeting or if I do a presentation at a conference, I always think of the audience, of the viewer, what they would find value hearing from me, and also to what would make them comfortable in having that conversation with them. So I'm always focused on the viewer. And the same thing goes into the content I produce. A lot of people watch my streams.
Mhm.
Obviously, they watch your streams and other streams too that both of us participate on. But it's an opportunity for me to really give quality to the viewers, to my prospects, to my clients, to my connections. And I love to get the feedback from them because it makes me feel great when they say, "Hey, I really appreciated when you did that. I found value in this." Or in some cases, what they do is they'll refer me to others that I'm not currently talking to that I should be talking to. And so, I always have that content is king, but content can be very useful when it comes to either being in sales, business development, marketing, or if you're just professionally trying to promote yourself or, for example, the broadcast we're on today.
So for you, it was the vision was looking to see how you could connect with someone else and thinking of them, and that helped you with your own transformation. Am I summarizing that?
You nailed it. That is exactly what my focus has been, and it will be. Now, with engagement for this year, as we're rolling out of this global pandemic, things start to open back up again. We're starting to see signs of that. We've had some signs of that coming out of 2021. Now we go back into prior to 2019 and prior, and we got to go back into that physical, that engagement. But there's one thing I want to make sure that I do not lose sight of or drop is the virtual, and
Hmm.
also too delivering content, because I think and you and I have had this conversation, we're going to see professionally more of a blended activity where,
Yes.
you might have conferences that do both virtual and a physical conference. And the same thing when it comes to sales and marketing and business development. You can't be in some cases two places at the same time physically. But if you were to do an event and it's covering a professional topic, you can create an event where people are actually coming virtually to that event, and you might have a bigger impact that way. Now, it does save money, but it also frees up your time to be able to do more versus all the time that you spend and invest into setting up traveling, and things like that. I still think people want to meet. I do like the grip and grin
Definitely.
and talk, but I think there's a way to look at what makes sense for travel, and then also to what makes sense virtually.
So we're speaking of transformations. The conference industry, the meeting and event
Mhm.
industry has gone through a major transformation. The conference I was speaking at last week, which was ABA, American Bus Association, they had virtual sessions and they had live sessions. And for me, it felt so great to be back live on the stage, talking to people, answering questions, delivering my content live. Yet there was also sessions that anyone could watch virtually. So it was that hybrid. And I know I have a conference coming up next month where I will be videoed. So if someone
Mhm.
wants to watch it completely virtual, they can. Yet anyone who wants to be there live will be able to do that too. So a lot of businesses, a lot of industries have transformed because of the pandemic, which when you think of it, it offered it was a horrible time for a lot of people. At the same time, it offered opportunities for other businesses.
Yeah, and I think it validated, just like with work from home. I remember companies were concerned, can we make this quick transition to work from home? And it worked out. It worked out. I haven't really heard any horrific stories out there, regarding companies that went under because they went from being, a physical office location to now all of a sudden everyone's working from home. In fact, a lot of companies today are still working in a hybrid. Fewer
They
people
are.
go into an office and they work from home because they can do it more remotely than going into a physical office. Now that has a big impact, but also too in the conference industries, everything was geared to we need to have X number of attendees come so that we can keep our sponsors happy, keep our exhibitors happy. Now all of a sudden there's an option now, and this is the way I look at it. You're still going to focus on that physical conference, but you're going to have a high percentage of people that want to come to your conference, but internationally they might not be able to travel due to expense. Now, if you can offer a virtual option to them, they're going to have that opportunity. Now, your virtual option is not going to be as robust as a physical option, but at least it gives an opportunity for you as an exhibit. I'm sorry, as an organization or a company, if this is your
Mhm.
event, now you can actually draw in a little bit additional revenue. And the expense to set this up is, in most cases, you're not talking about a very expensive setup. Where if you have a physical conference, those can be very expensive, millions of dollars to set up. So you have a higher threshold
Definitely.
to be able to capitalize. We need to get X number of sponsors. We need to get X number of exhibitors, or we're going to be in trouble.
Definitely. So it now that we have the two options, it does give another revenue stream, but it
Yeah.
also gives the people who need it, participants, the attendees, it is meant for them, as a way to learn or as a way to connect. It gives them another opportunity so they can learn virtually or in person.
Yeah, in 2019, so in 2019, through my legacy organization, I got to participate in a Latin American conference that was done as an e-show, and it was basically set up as an e-show. And we recorded my presentation session, and others did the same thing. Due to when they were going to have it was December of 2019, they delayed it because of the pandemic, and even though it was virtual, they delayed it, and then they ran it, I believe, in the spring of 2020. It went over very well. And the other thing too, I found that the organization that put it on, they were taking the clips from the recordings and offering to the attendees extra value, saying, we have these clips put together regarding a certain aspect of industry or process procedures, uh, technical information, and they made that available to the attendees. And so they added an extra value because they saw this is an opportunity. We can do another e-show down the road here. And if we really show a lot of value for what the virtual attendees paid, they're going to come back again and sign up. And hopefully they're going to tell their colleagues and friends, hey, you need to participate with this virtual show.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Hmm.
So I want to jump back to individuals. So we tackled some corporations, we tackled conferences, but individuals. So I pulled a couple of ideas here. So three reasons why a transformation will work. And I'm going to go from personal experience. So the one is to get support. Build your support team. If you're going through a major transformation, what kind of support do you need? So that would be one. And what do you want your transformation to look like?
Hmm.
So Jim, you knew what you wanted your transformation to look like. And I'm going to go with whenever I had left my corporate position and started my company, I had a vision of what I wanted it to look like. And part
Yeah.
of my transformation started with changing my name. So I had left due to, this is a long story, so I'm just going to say, due to my safety being jeopardized, I left a long-term marriage and I wanted to change my name. That was the first part of transformation, reinvention for me. And instead of going back to my maiden name, I actually went ahead and had it legally changed. So I had to petition the court and do all kinds of fun things in order to do that. So, but I knew what I wanted it to look like. The third part of this, I would say, is believe in it. Believe in it with your whole being. And the reason I say that and why it's so important is when I decided to change my name, I had people say to me, colleagues, and even my friends' husbands, you don't want to do that. You're going to mess up Social Security. You're going to end up doing this. And I did all the naysayers, I pushed aside, and their intent was for my own good.
Yeah.
But I felt so strongly and believed in changing my name. I just pushed those thoughts away. So that would be three, is to really believe in what you want that transformation to be. And then the fourth, Jim, you did this. What steps do you need to take? You knew what steps you needed to take in order to make that transformation work.
The big difference, I think, with you and myself is that you had a lot bigger of a transformation than I did. For me, it was more professionally and personally, but I didn't really have to overcome naysayers. I really didn't have to overcome the situations because the situation was you're not able to get on an airplane, you're not able to drive somewhere, you're not able to meet, go to a conference. And so basically, would say not to say I took advantage of the situation, but it just made so much sense to go ahead and make this transformation. Plus, it kind of fed into the longer term goals that I had for myself, after well, let's say when my professional career starts to change down the road. I'm 55 right now, and I'll be 56 in May. So, not to say that I'm going to work probably for the rest of my life, but um, there should be at least one or two changes that I want to do down the road. I just don't know when that is, but I might as well plan that out now.
Well, and the transformation too helped you grow. It helped you grow personally and professionally. And that is the one thing to think about whenever we're thinking about transformation is where do you want to grow? And how do you want to grow? So, yes, that, and though mine was a personal, there were many other transformations that went with that.
Yeah.
So, it was personal, it impacted my professional life. So, with the two of those, and whatever happens to us personally, it impacts us professionally. It really does both ways. So, now we are ready to wrap up here. So, Jim, what is some last nuggets you would share with our audience?
Well, I think when it comes to transformation is I'm sure there's a lot who are listening to us here live and then also to watch it on the replay. And they have some ideas in the back of their mind of what they would like to do and
Hmm.
have a transformation. What I say is you have to be committed to that and you have to execute that. There will be people who will probably say, no, you don't want to do that, or stay safe, stay here, do this. And what you want to do is listen to yourself, and you want to make sure that you fortify yourself and also empower yourself to move forward. So what I say is stick to it. If it's what's right for you, that's what's right for you. It's in your plan. We all I always say God has a plan for everybody. That's
He
part of your
does.
plan. So now if you're looking to do a transformation, do it.
And to add to that, I would say, think about the transformation, think about the steps. And when you are thinking about it, write it down, make it happen. Research shows that whenever we write something down, it comes about more than if we don't. So commit to somebody else. If you didn't listen to our accountability broadcast, go back and listen to that. But commit whatever your goal is, whatever your transformation is, your vision, commit that to someone else. And be sure to have ongoing check in points so that you can share your journey. And it is about the journey. Enjoy the journey of that transformation, that reinvention. So I would say that would be adding on. And one of the, and could have brought this up a little bit earlier. One of the reasons people fail in their not having the transformation they want is not having that vision, not having that big picture vision or that big goal that goes with that transformation. So having that in place and then going through and creating the outline to make it happen. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Be sure to reach out to us. Now, Jim broadcasts every Wednesday at noon, so be sure to watch his Build Out broadcast and join us here every Thursday at noon. And if you're watching the replay, be sure to make some comments because we do answer, respond to all of our comments.
Yeah. And like and share too.
Yeah, definitely like and share. So, Jim, if you want to go ahead, is there an additional way someone can reach out to you?
Yeah, the best way is through LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or if you want to, you can go to buildoutproductions.com. That's buildoutproductions.com. Join the mail list, and also to take a look at some of the content that I'll be posting up there, hopefully shortly here. As we just started a brand new year here, and I've got a couple new episodes for season 2 for Build Out under my belt.
Sounds great. John, hello. Thank you for joining us. We are getting ready to sign off, but we are so happy that you hopped in here. Now, if you'd like to get a hold of me, you can also reach me at LinkedIn and all of the other social media platforms. I'm on all of them. And you can check out my website at mjcallaway.com. There's a number of free resources under resources. So if there's something you want to check out, whether it's sales or whether it's how to bounce up, there's free downloads right there. So until next time, remember to make it a bounce up day.